لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه أجمعين. I just wanted to take some time and make a quick demo of our Bunyaan proof of concept. Basically, as many of you may already know, we are implementing Musharaka on blockchain on a peer-to-peer network. So here, as you can see on my screen, I have 3 nodes, and a user is connected to each of these nodes. And obviously this setup is very simplistic. However, it does show the basic functionality of our Musharaka smart contracts. So we have 3 nodes, and each node has one user connected to them, to it. Basically, and to see the balance of each user, we can go to the My Wallet tab, and basically on the My Wallet page, you'll see that each user starts out with $1,000, and basically the pending transactions page, this is internal to the node. Obviously the user will not be exposed to this, and as well, when we click on Bunyaan, the home page, this is where we see all the blocks. And again, this is specific to the node and the blockchain itself. A user doesn't necessarily need to see this. However, the user can create transactions. They can send money to different wallet addresses, and these 3 wallet addresses each belongs to one of these nodes that we mentioned. And also the Musharaka investment page. This is where the users will be able to see all of the properties that they can invest in. And also this is where the borrower can go and check whether the loan that they are requesting has been granted. And also this page, this is where the page where the user, again, this is not internal to the node. This is where the user comes and creates a smart contract to borrow money, or initiate a smart contract to borrow money. So basically what we will do in this demo is we're going to create a smart contract and have different people start investing in it. In the property, I mean, and then at the end, the borrower who has been granted the loan will go ahead and pay rent to all of the people who have become partner in the property. So let's go ahead. Let's call this node 1. We'll call this node 2, and call this node 3. Let's go ahead and create a fake property. So 2, 3, 2, 4. Fake property avenue. Price, let's make it simplistic. Let's keep it at $1,000. Down payment, let's say the person has $400 that they can pay, they can put down, and the seller is SD. Begin contract. Now here, once we click on the begin contract, the node will have a pending transaction. This transaction has not been mined yet, right? And all of the other nodes will become aware of that pending transaction as well, because it is a blockchain, right? Every node needs to be given a chance to mine transactions that are pending. Now let's say, again, this is simplistic. In a real blockchain network, the nodes will probably have an automatic way of mining transactions. But let's say this node that the user is connected to, it decides to mine the transaction. We go ahead and mine the transaction. If we come to Bunyaan now, we should see a second block. This is the genesis block. Every blockchain will start with a genesis block, will not have any, and this block will not have any transactions. And now that the transaction has been mined, the first block that has transactions has been added to the blockchain. Now if we go here, this transaction, and on node 2, this transaction is no longer pending. Similarly on node 3, this transaction is no longer pending. and we should see a second block on each node. Yes, we see it here, and we should see it here as well. Yes. So now let's say node the user connected to node 2, which we will call user 2, decides to invest in a property, right? So they will go ahead and check all the contracts or all the requests, loan requests that are available. They will see this. If they click on it, they are taken to a page where they can um, become a partner, because they can put ads, give a loan to the borrower. Now let's say there's $600 remaining, and $400 is the down payment. But before we do this, let's go ahead and quickly look at the My Wallet of the user 1, which is the user who initiated the smart contract. If you guys remember that the user put down $400, so that $400 has been subtracted from their wallet, and because this this node, now here we need to make a distinction here, which we haven't yet. The node and the user, the wallet address of the node and the user are the same, which we need to change. However, the reason why you see this 10 dinars is because this node was the node that mined the transaction. That is why that 10 dinar was added back. Now again, in a real blockchain network, the users, their wallet addresses are separate, and the wallet addresses of the nodes are separate. But this is how it's implemented right now. I just wanted to explain why you see it, the extra 10 dinars here. Now, if we go to node 2, or user 2, they still have $1,000, right? They haven't done anything. They haven't contributed to any smart contracts. So let's say they want to, they go click on here, they say, okay, I want to put, become a partner in the house, and I have $300 to lend. Now they click on lend. As you can see, the loan granted becomes 300, and the loan remaining decreases to 300. And if you go to pending transactions, we'll see a transaction, right? This is the transaction of which interacts with the smart contract. This transaction will add this lender to the smart contract. And if we go to the other nodes, we should see this transaction. Now, let's say the same node wants to mine the transaction. We go ahead and mine the transaction. Now, the transaction, as you can see, is gone from all nodes, but a third block is now added. Obviously, we can wait for transactions to accumulate before we mine, but just for the purpose of this demo, I want you to visualize everything. So that's why I'm mining each transaction here. So if we go back here, we should see 3 blocks, and if we go to node 3, we should see 3 blocks. Now, if we go node 3, if we go on click on the Musharaka investments, we'll see that everything has been updated. The loan granted is 300, and the loan remaining is 300. Now, if we go back to user 2's wallet page, we see that $300 was subtracted. However, $10 was added because, as we said, we haven't separated the wallet address of the user and the node. These are the same wallet address. So because this node mined this transaction, they got a mining reward of 10 dinars. Now, node 3 and user 3. User 3 on node 3 wants to become connected to node 3, wants to become a partner. They click on here. They see $300 is remaining. They add the $300, and the loan remaining becomes 0, and the option of becoming a partner disappears, as you can see, because the loan has been granted. Now, if you go to pending transactions, you'll see that transaction is here, similar. similar to the previous transactions, they're all here, right? So let's say node 3 decides to mine this transaction. The blocks become 4 and the pending transaction is gone. It's gone here as well, and it's gone here as well, right? So now we go back to here, we go back to node 3, and we check the wallet. Similar to what happened to user 3 or user 2. User 3 also gets $300 gets taken out of their wallet because they lended it, and 10 dinars was added because they mined the transaction. Now at this point, user 2 and 3 are no longer able to become, add any more loan, because they've already, the loan has already been granted in full. So if you go to the user 1, who was the user who initiated the contract, because the loan has been granted, they can now pay rent. And now we are assuming something. We're assuming that after the loan was granted, the payment was made to the seller and the title was transferred, and now it's time to pay rent. That's that assumption, and how that piece of the puzzle works is added to the white paper, which inshallah will publish soon, so you could read. But we're either thinking of either using Propy or oracles to handle that real world interaction. But as we said, we're assuming that all is done. Now it is time to pay rent. User 1, it's time to pay rent. A month has passed, or it's the first month, and the user wants to pay rent to the investors. As you can see, the wallet here is 610. The wallet here is 710. The wallet balance here is 710. So if we go ahead and pay rent, now transactions are added here. One transaction is to send money to user 1. The second transaction is to send money to user 2. We go ahead and mine the transactions. We have 5 blocks. We go ahead, we should have 5 blocks here too. Now we should have 5 blocks here too. Now here, because we paid rent, our wallet is going to decrease, right? And basically there's a way we calculate rent, which is in the code. You can go ahead and check it out. But as you can see, the balance decreased, and at the same time, because this node mined the transaction, 10 dinars were added. That's why you see a slightly higher amount or balance that you would see without the mining reward. So here, if we come here, we will see that it's 719. 9 dinars were added because that's the portion of rent that user 2 gets. Similarly, user 3 will get 9 dinars for this month, for the rent of this month, and they end up with 719. So basically, that's the idea behind the solution that we're hoping to provide, inshallah, to the community. It's very basically, the concept is very simple. However, it does require a lot of work, making sure that everything is Shari'a compliant, and making sure that everything is able to work as compatible and works with the real world basically. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept it from us, and we ask everyone to make dua for us, that Allah Azza wa Jal grant us the tawfiq to complete this project, and may Allah Azza wa Jal make it a means of khair and an opening, inshallah, for the community, inshallah, so that we can get out of this the challenges that we face with the real estate and the mortgage market. جزاكم الله خيرا. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.